Mexico City is one of the most exciting cities in the world, but it's also huge. So picking the right neighborhood matters a lot more here than in a smaller European capital where you can just wander across town and call it a day. In this video, we're breaking down the best areas to stay in Mexico City for first-time visitors, food lovers, luxury travelers, and anyone who wants to spend less time in traffic and more time actually enjoying the city.
And that is the key with Mexico City. This place is packed with amazing neighborhoods, but they all do very different jobs. Some are better for museums and big sites, some are better for cafes and nightlife, and some are better if you want tree-lined streets, great restaurants, and a hotel that feels a bit more polished. So let's help you stay in the right place the first time you visit Mexico City.
One quick note on price here. Hotel rates in Mexico City move around a lot depending on when you book, whether it's a holiday weekend, and whether there's a major event in town. So instead of pretending one room will always cost the same on every date, we're giving you realistic planning ranges. Budget can often start around the lower end, mid-range usually begins a step up from that, and luxury in the top neighborhoods, that climbs fast.
So let's start with the best area for a lot of first-time visitors, and that is Roma Norte and Condesa. Official Mexico City tourism material groups Roma, Condesa, and Polanco together as the city's cosmopolitan modern circuit, and that is exactly how it feels on the ground. You've got leafy streets, cafes, restaurants, bars, and galleries, plus parks and some of the best people watching and dog watching in the city.
Roma Norte and Condesa are great for foodies, couples, digital nomads, and first-timers who want a neighborhood with energy but not full of historic center intensity. You're close to places like Avenida Amsterdam, Parque Mexico, Parque España, and a ton of good dining, and transit is pretty practical because it's close to a lot of metro stations. It also puts you within easy reach of Chapultepec and Reforma without feeling like you're sleeping in the business district.
For pricing here, budget can go as low as about $60 per night to $100 if you book smart. Mid-range usually starts at around $120 to $220, and luxury often lands around $250 to $450. Some hotel recommendations in this area are, for budget, Casa Castilla Condesa, especially if you want to stay in Condesa without paying boutique hotel prices. Stanza Hotel is a strong mid-range option in Roma Norte, and the Brick Hotel is a luxury pick if you want something more polished and upscale right in the neighborhood. Hotel rates in Mexico City are running higher than usual because of World Cup demand, so prices you're seeing at the moment may look inflated.
Next up is Polanco, and this is where you stay if you want the more refined luxury shopping and museum side of Mexico City. Polanco is one of the best-known upscale neighborhoods and the surrounding district as part of Mexico City's signature modern design-forward experience. It's also right next to Chapultepec Park, which is a massive advantage.
Polanco is known as the Rodeo Drive of Mexico City, and it's great for luxury travelers, families who want a calmer base, and anyone who wants easy access to the National Museum of Anthropology, which we say you have to do. It's one of the best museums we've ever visited. Chapultepec Park will spend days to explore, and you get a lot of high-end restaurants here with some fabulous cocktails. It feels cleaner, polished, and a bit less chaotic than some other parts of the city. Transit-wise, you've got access via stations like Polanco and Auditorio, but this is also one of those neighborhoods where a lot of people mix metro with ride shares and Uber because the blocks are bigger and the hotels are more spread out.
Price-wise, this is not the bargain part of town. Budget options are thinner, but you can still sometimes find something around $100 to $150 a night. Mid-range often starts around $180 to $300, and luxury can very easily run from $350 up to over $800 a night. For hotel examples, we'll start with a budget suggestion. Camino Real Polanco is often one of the more attainable, recognizable names in the area. Now, the Hyatt Regency Mexico City is a really strong upper mid to luxury pick, which is beside Chapultepec Park. And Las Alcobas is for travelers who want intimate boutique luxury in the heart of Polanco.
Now, if you want history, big monuments, and that classic first trip sightseeing base, look at Centro Histórico and Alameda Central. This is where you're close to the Zócalo, the Metropolitan Cathedral, Torre Latino Americano, and Bellas Artes, which is beautiful. It's one of the easiest places to stay if your goal is to wake up and start checking off all the major landmarks of Mexico City on foot. It's busy, intense, and very urban, but it puts the city's historic core right outside your door.
This area is best for first-time visitors focused on the landmarks, if you're a history buff, and if you're a traveler that wants to be in the thick of it. Metro access is excellent around stations like Bellas Artes, Zócalo, and Juárez, so it's one of the easiest spaces for getting around without spending your whole trip stuck in traffic. The trade-off is that it's definitely louder, busier, and less relaxed than, say, Roma, Condesa, or Coyoacán.
Pricing here is usually a lot friendlier, especially for budget travelers. Budget travelers can expect to spend $50 to $90 per night. Mid-range often starts at around $100 and can go to $180, and upscale stays usually land around only $200 to $350 per night.
Now, when it comes to hotel examples, Hotel Cathedral is a solid practical pick for this zone. Historico Central is a great mid-range option, just steps from major sites, and the Hilton Mexico City Reforma is the big-name luxury choice by Alameda Central with easy access to Bellas Artes and Reforma.
Now, if your version of a good trip includes markets, museums, slower mornings, and a more local feeling and atmosphere, then Coyoacán deserves a serious look. Mexico City's own tourism material describes it as feeling like a world away from central CDMX, with cobblestone streets, historic homes, and must-see stops like the Frida Kahlo Museum, Leon Trotsky Museum, and the neighborhood markets. It's one of the prettiest parts of the city, and it feels more relaxed than the central neighborhoods.
Coyoacán is best for return visitors, cultural lovers, slower travelers, and anyone who wants a more neighborhood feel over the nightlife central convenience. It's not the most central base for every sightseeing day, but if you have a little bit more time or you already know that you love neighborhoods with cafes, plazas, and markets, this area is a great call. The closest useful metro connections for the broader zone include Viveros and Coyoacán on Line 3, though depending on exactly where you stay, you may still use ride shares quite a fair bit.
We found Ubers to be very economical in Mexico City, so I highly recommend them. Hotel prices are often a bit more moderate than Polanco, but can jump for boutique properties. Budgets can start around $50 to $90. Mid-range usually sits around $100 to $180 per night. And those boutique luxuries, they can sit around $200 to $350+ per night.
Now, for hotel examples, Casa Yacenta Guesthouse is a really nice budget to mid-range style choice. H21 Boutique Accommodation is a strong boutique mid-range option right in Coyoacán. And Pug Seal Coyoacán is the splurge pick if you want something more design forward and intimate.
The last area that I'd seriously consider is Reforma and Juárez, especially if you want a base that feels a little more sophisticated and luxurious than the historic center, but is still very well connected. This zone gives you quick access to Paseo de la Reforma, the Angel of Independence area, Alameda, and a lot of major city connections.
Yeah, Reforma and Juárez are great for first-timers, shorter stays, and travelers who want strong transit and hotel choice without committing fully to the chaos of Centro. You're near major avenues, lots of restaurants, and several cool landmarks. And you can move fairly easily toward Chapultepec, Centro, or Roma, depending on the day.
And there is a huge range of hotels in this zone. Budgets can start around 60 to 110 US dollars per night. Mid-range often falls around 120 to 220 US dollars per night. And luxury starts at around 250 and climbs up to thousands from there.
Some hotel recommendations? We'll start with Ibis Mexico Alameda. That's a really solid, budget-friendly option, and it's near the Juárez Metro. The Barcello Mexico Reforma is a dependable mid-range and upper mid-range choice. And Four Seasons Hotel Mexico City is the classic luxury splurge right on Reforma.
We felt very safe here. It's very clean and modern, and you can tell that you are staying with all of the major business people of Mexico City.
And you're also near Zona Rosa, which gives this part of the city a little more energy at night. So if you want a hotel near Reforma, but also want restaurants, bars, cafes, and somewhere to walk in the evening, this is definitely a good fit. It's especially handy for travelers who want a central location without paying crazy prices like Polanco. So listen, Mexico City is not a place where there is one perfect neighborhood for everyone. But if you match the neighborhood to your travel style, this city absolutely delivers. And once you get the base right, the rest of the trip gets a whole lot easier.
So whether you're visiting Mexico City for the World Cup or traveling around Mexico and want to see its capital city in full force, we hope that we helped you decide where to stay in Mexico City.
And if we did, make sure to give this video a like, a share, and subscribe, because we put out videos like this every week.
And don't forget to hype it, and we shall see you in the next one, because we are doing travels from 120 countries around the world from our 20 years of experience.
Thanks for watching, everybody.